Welcome everybody to this week's Azure and AI Show, and we've got some new speakers with us this week. We've got Sameena there. She's going to go first, and she's going to do AI governance and framework. And then we have Bassey. He's going to do some stuff on Azure, I think, wasn't it? Um, and we have Dan Ray there, MVP, and Hal Holzler. Hal, congratulations on your 31 years of being an MVP this
Thank
week.
you.
That's amazing.
So I'll put your screen up there, so Sameena. Yep, there we can see it.
Yeah. Thank you. Let me begin. Hello, everyone. Good afternoon, good evening. Thank you all for being here today. I am Sameena Begam Saukatali. I currently work as a principal software engineer with Liberty Mutual, United States. I have about around 15 years of experience in this industry. I have worked in various domains like aerospace, banking, healthcare. Finally, I'm now working in an insurance platform. Today, I'm going to talk about the importance of responsible and ethical AI. So today, organizations and each individuals are rapidly adopting AI systems to improve their maybe efficiency or to automate some of the processes and gain into the competitive advantages, right? However, with these benefits, we have to think about the risk or the challenges that we are going to face. So we are going to explore what does AI governance means and why organizations are investing heavily in governance frameworks nowadays. Okay, let me tell about high level on what is AI governance. It's nothing but refers to a set of policies or standards, you can call it standards or controls, and kind of an oversight mechanism used to ensure that AI systems operate responsibly and safely. So here the goal is not to slow down the innovation. So instead, governance helps organization maximize the benefits of AI while minimizing the risk. Why? Because we know, right? We are using AI models for everything in our day-to-day life, if even for the companies that they are adopting AIs. AI does a lot of decision making for us. So the main question here is, who is responsible for those decisions made by AI, whether that AI itself or the companies that is being representing the AI or the person who is using that AI models. So that is the main question and main problem here. So here we have to visualize who takes the accountability, who takes care of the compliance, who takes care of the data security lies behind that. So that's where our AI governance comes into the picture. So a strong AI governance framework helps any organizations to ensure their AI systems are ethical, transparent, reliable, and most importantly, compliant with the regulations. That's why we have to have AI importance. It's not like a add-on. It has to be necessary for nowadays for every organization. Let's talk about why AI governance matters. So AI governance actually defines who is responsible for the AI decisions, how the AI systems are monitored, and what are the controls in place if there is any issue occurs. So in many ways, AI governance is act as an operating framework that keeps AI systems aligned with the business goal, legal requirements, and the customer expectations. So strong governance frameworks build customer trust. So if the customer has more trust in the AI products that they are using, that results in the brand reputation, right? So here accountability not only boosts the adoption of the AI, but at the same time, we are getting the brand reputation. So many companies which are now leading in the responsible AI practices are getting the best benefits, especially in the regulated sectors like healthcare. The robust governance has seen up to 30% market share gain. So, beyond reputation and trust, governance also ensure that regulatory readiness, like there are policies like EU AI Act, which we are going to see in the later part of this presentation, and emerging global standards with respect to AI systems. So I would like to talk about on high level how the AI systems work so that we can know why the AI governance is more important. AI models, there are a lot of AI models. So those AI models learn the patterns from the human generated data, right? Even any AI model, if you take that would have been some human would have been behind there. So that data may be structured or unstructured or in any form, like image, videos, emails, text, SMS, anything. So the machine learning models analyze this data, identify some patterns or the relationship trends. Over time, the models use these patterns to make the predictions, classifications, recommendations, and sometimes decisions. The quality of AI depends on the heavily depend on the quality of the data that is underlying behind this AI system. Excuse me. So if the data that is being used to train the AI model is incomplete or inaccurate or biased or outdated, the AI system may produce harmful or poor results. Excuse me. That is why AI governance must include the data quality controls, some validation processes, monitoring systems. As the most important thing is the human oversight. So AI systems are as trustworthy as the data, the processes, and the controls that is supporting them. It's not like AI system itself. So let's explore some of the key risk in AI systems. Excuse me. So the first is bias and unfair decision making. If AI systems are trained in a biased data model, historical data, they may produce discriminatory outcomes. For example, excuse me, my throat is not helping me today. So, for example, biased hiring algorithms or loan approval systems can unintentionally discriminate certain groups. Another certain concern is like a privacy. Many AI systems rely on large data sets that may contain sensitive or personal information. So, improper data handling can create legal and reputational risk. Transparency is another issue. So, many advanced AI systems operates like a black box nowadays, meaning like even developers may not fully understand how certain decisions are made. So, that lack of explainability can reduce trust uh, among customers, regulators, and even employees. So, poorly governed AI systems can lead to a lot of financial losses, security incidents, and legal liability, brand damage. So, these are the major risk in AI systems. We can go on for a lot more because see, like we have seen like nowadays AI models are hallucinating, and also that there is a thing called model drift, right? Over time, the technologies has been creating a real world condition changes, business evolves, so AI become less accurate and reliable if they are not retrained or monitored properly. So, as AI adoption grows, governance becomes like it's not just a technical requirement, but it's a business necessity. So, governance challenges organization phrase. So, nowadays, like although many organizations recognize the importance of AI governance, but the implementation is not that easy. So one challenge is like speed of AI adoption. Like nowadays, many organizations like deploying their AI systems or solutions faster than governance teams can establish controls. So like another challenge is like scaling. Large enterprise may have hundreds or even thousands of AI systems operating across different departments and geographies. So monitoring all these systems consistently becomes extremely complex. So um, now that's the reason organizations struggle with evolving regulations. And another main issue is like consistent ethical standards, maintaining the consistent ethical standards. So because different teams may interrupt the fairness or accountability in a different manner, right? So as AI become more autonomous, these governance challenges becomes even more significant. So organization has to have regulatory uh, um, teams such as like a governance teams to take care of these accountability and come up with a good structure and monitoring tools and also standard governance framework. So these are the governance frameworks that is currently, I mean, there are a lot more. I'm going to discuss about only the major ones. Say like NIST AI risk management framework, UAI Act, ISO IEC standards for AI, and finally the IEEE standards for artificial intelligence. So these together, these frameworks are driving convergence around global norms while setting the clear expectation for compliance and ethics, compliance, ethics, and performance. Let's go detail on each of these frameworks. Okay, NIST risk framework is one of the major or most important framework currently guiding organizations building trustworthy and responsible AI systems. This was released on January 2023. It's actually developed through consensus over 240 organizations. It mainly focuses on trustworthiness. Over 65% of US organizations are in tech and government sectors are implementing or planning to implement. It is more flexible for international influence as well. What makes this framework more powerful is like it treats AI governance as a continuous life cycle rather than a one-time compliance activity. So this was introduced by NIST, the National Institute of Standards and Technology, is to help organizations organize, assess, or govern AI risk in a structured and repeatable way. Another most famous one is like EUAA Act. We all have been heard about it. This is one of the world's first major AI regulations. It uses like risk-based approach, meaning like AI systems are classified based on the level of harm they may cause. At the top, we see the unacceptable risk, which includes the banned AI applications such as social scoring, manipulative AI systems, certain biometric surveillance technologies. Next is the high risk one, which applies to the systems used in areas like healthcare, hiring, credit scoring, critical infrastructures. These systems must meet strict compliance, um, transparency, security, and human oversight requirements. The third one is the limited risk, where systems like chatbots, AI generated content must clearly disclose that users are interacting with the AI. So at the bottom is the minimal risk, where is like spam filters, recommendation systems that are mostly unregulated. So overall, this AU-AI Act claims that aims to protect that people improve transparency, ensure the compliance, and build trust while still supporting the AI innovation. This one was published around July 2024. It's entered the entered force in August. It's going to be fully enforced by this year 2026 August. This is very serious because non-compliance with this act leads to penalties up to like 40 million US dollars or 7% of the company's total worldwide annual turnover, depends on whichever value is higher. Next one is the ISO IEC standards. This is also a globally recognized framework for building and governing AI. It helps organizations establish accountability, transparency, and continuous improvement using a plan, do, check, act model. If you see here, and the right side we have the code standards portfolio, and at the bottom we see the interoperability of ISO IEC to 27001, and also ISO 42001 does not replace the existing or the traditional information security standards, but it extends them to the AI specific risks such as the bias, privacy, all those things that we discussed before. So overall, these standards helps organizations create trustworthy and globally aligned AI governance. The final one is the IEEE standards for artificial intelligence. So IEEE have a lot of standards and certifications benchmarking the best practices. First one is for ethical and AI society, which is 7000 series, and technical performance and benchmarking. The third is the safety and privacy management. This standard also had a IEEE Certify 8 certification. It's a credential programming that evaluates the AI systems for transparency, accountability, bias, and privacy protections. So overall, IEEE standards helps organization build AI systems ethical and reliable, mostly aligned with the global best practices. Yeah. So artificial intelligence offers tremendous opportunities, right? For everybody, for every organizations. Like it has the power to improve efficiency, customer experiences, like unlock entirely a new business model in a fraction of minutes, right? So, however, while those opportunities are enormous, the risks are really equal. So, that's why AI governance is no longer optional. With the help of these frameworks, there are a lot more frameworks. Organization can successfully create and run responsible AI aligned with the regulations, so they can be safer with this legal and regulatory requirements. I hope this session provided useful insights on into AI governance and the building and the importance of building a responsible AI. So this is a rapidly evolving field. Governance will play a major role determining how successfully organization adapt AI technologies in the coming years. So thank you so much for the opportunity to discuss about with all of you. And I would like to open the floor for any questions and discussions, any thoughts you would like to share.
Great presentation, Sameena. Very good.
Thank you.
It's great to see all the presentations around AI, getting everybody familiar with all the regulations and all the problems that companies face with regulation and so forth.
Thank you for the opportunity.
Yeah. Anybody, any questions there? No questions, so you're off the hook.
Thank you.
Hey, Bassey, do you want to try and share your screen with us there? And I see Dan has shared your LinkedIn there, and we'll just throw it up on the screen.
All right.
There. That's Sameena. There you go.
I'm about to share my screen right now.
Okay.
Let me know when you can see my screen.
Yeah, there we go. We have you on the screen. Yeah.
Okay. I believe you can see my screen.
Yeah, perfect.
All right. It's so good to be here back again. Frank, I'm so happy for you to have me back here. It's gonna amazing. It's gonna be an amazing session. Thank you so much. Thank you, Dan Ray. Thank you, Kweyemi. Thank you, everyone. So my name is Iberedem Bassey. I'm an M365 administrator for ABC of Cloud Computing and AfriMine, and have experience supporting modern workspace environment and managing cloud infrastructure across AfriMine and ABC of Cloud. Specialized in identity management, security governance, user lifecycle administration, and ensuring seamless collaboration across M365 services. Basically, my topic today has to do with M365. So, and I have industry recognized certifications like AC300, AC305, and AC104. This can actually scan this to get to my LinkedIn profile and connect with me. You can also get access to my YouTube where I drop content regularly on a different aspects. So basically, today I'll be talking about administrative units in M365 and restricted management units in Entra ID. So before I go into that, what exactly are administrative units? They are logical containers that group users, groups and devices into defined administrative scopes. So basically, they are just logical containers that, for instance, let's say you have an organization for like a school that has different faculties. I know you have like M365 tenants and you have roles, you have administrators in your tenants like the global administrator, the user administrators, and the rest. Then you have different faculties in your organization like schools, and you want it to be such that for a particular faculty, there is an administrator that is scoped to be responsible for users in that faculty. That's where the creation of administrative units comes in. They are very, very pivotal. They also help with enforcing the principle of least privilege. How that whatever scope, whatever influence the person is given to, or whatever access or role the person is assigned to, his jurisdiction of influence or his sphere of influence, or whatever what he can influence is just the administrative unit and not the tenant itself. So it's a very, very important feature in M365. The grant administrators permissions limited to specific units and not the entire tenant. And this principle of least privilege is being enforced when you set up administrative units. Then why exactly do we need to use administrative? Why is it important? Because it protects sensitive departments like the HR, the finance, the executive account from general administrative access. Not everybody can have access to everything. It's segmented, it's restricted. We make sure that those that have access to things are those that we desire to have access to things. Then it limits help desk access so staff manage only their assigned scope, reducing risk. So in a way, it can limit the access of the help desk so that those that are managing different faculties, for my illustration, let's say we have a school and we have a faculty of law, faculty of engineering. I want it to be that there is an admin that is in charge of faculty of engineering. You can create an administrative unit and give that admin an ability to manage that particular faculty. So everything that pertains to users, groups, or devices in that faculty will be managed by a particular person. While you, as the tenant-wide administrator, also have the ability to oversee what is going on or audit things. Now, you also reduce tenant-wide privileges. So if you are looking at reducing tenant-wide privileges, administrative units are very effective. Instead of broad permissions, you just reduce it, streamline it to a particular unit, and it's effective. Now, it improves compliance with clear boundaries that support governance and audit requirements. So basically, it gives boundaries. You know that this is the boundary. If for any reason there is actually a breakage or an issue arising from a particular administrative unit, it's easy for you to troubleshoot it, knowing that the people that have access to that unit or have the influence to effect changes there are the administrator that you scope to that particular unit. So it also helps give us clear boundaries. So what are the different types of administrative units? Basically, we have two types. We have the standard units is just designed for delegation across departments or regions, where you have different departments and different regions. With the standard, you just delegate it across them without tenant-wide scope. So we are going to see how this is being created in the M365 Admin Center and also how it's being created in the Entra ID Admin Center. Then we also have the restricted management administrative unit. This is very, very this is a much more restricted administrative unit. It provides high security isolation for privileged and sensitive accounts, enforces strict boundaries to prevent privilege escalation. Now, basically, one of the features of this restricted management administration is that even though you have an M365 tenant and you're a global administrator, which means you have full access, without being scoped to effect changes in the restricted management administrative unit, you cannot effect changes. For instance, let's say you want to reset the password of a user that has been added as a member of restricted management administrative unit. The only people that have the privilege or that have the right to reset those passwords are people that are actually scoped to be admins in that AU, that restricted management AU. Every other person does not have that right. So it's actually very, very interesting feature in M365. We're going to get to see it. I've already provisioned everything, so I'll just get to show you exactly how it plays out. So now, what are the prerequisites? What are the things that are required for you if you're using M365 in your organization for you to be able to effectively enforce administrative units? You need to have Entra ID P1 or P2 license. You need to have a global or privileged role admin. Those are the two roles that actually give you ability to create and manage to create the administrative unit. You need to have a defined organizational structure. You need to have a structure that, okay, this is the organogram for my administration, from the head to down. Just have to make sure that there's an organogram that shows exactly how things are being done. You need to also have a clear role responsibilities. Make sure that the responsibilities for each of the admins or each of the people that you are giving administrative roles, they are being clearly defined so that there is no conflict of interest and there is no confusion whatsoever. Everybody knows what they have to do, and then they take action in making sure that those things are enforced. So now we are going to be going to a demo, and I'll be showing you exactly how to create it from the M365 Administrative Center and how to create it from the Entra ID Administrative Center. So I'll just move down to where I have my tenants that was provisioned. So I've already signed into my admin center. To sign into your admin center, you have to be an administrator. For this tenant that I'm using for this presentation, I'm the global admin for this tenant. As I said you need to have either a global admin or a privileged role admin for you to be able to do this. So I'll come into where we have, I've signed in using office.com, or you can also use cmd.ms. I've signed in here. For you to access the admin center, you can click on this, apps and more, and you get to see where you can click on to go to the administrative center. This will take you to the admin center. If I click on this, it will take me there, but that's already been opened here. Now, for you to get to access administrative units from M365 Administrative Center, when you scroll down to your M365 Admin Center, you come down to where we have roles. Under the drop down for roles, you go to where we have administrative units. These are the administrative units that I've already provisioned for the sake of this event. We have the AU budget. This is actually a very standard admin unit. It's not a restricted management admin unit. This one that I added restricted to them are the ones that are restricted management administrative units. And if you observe from here, when I try to create this, I cannot create a restricted management administrative unit from the M365 Administrative Center. That is possible when you use the Entra ID Administrative Center. I click add this admin unit for the sake of, and we click test instance. And what is it for testing? And I scroll down to where we have next. What are these? Do you want to add a member here? Where you can decide to select the members you want to add, and then after that, you're going to be able to add rules. Just give it a bit of time. It's still populating, okay? So you can add up to 20 users and groups, or you can upload users using the CSV based on your preference. You can add up to 20 users. It doesn't really mean you need to add up to 20. You can just select add up to 20, select users, add them to your administrative, and then you progress. Next. After that, you're going to need to add admin to roles. Now, you need to know that in your administration unit is not every role that you have, all intra roles that are available. For the roles that are available when you're in the admin center, we have just roles.
Yeah, sorry.
ID. You have.
I think we can't really
see. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I think your screen is frozen, so we can't really see. We can only see the administrative units. I don't know if you are.
Yeah. If you turn off your camera, right, it'll give you more resources and your screen mightn't freeze then.
Okay.
Yeah, I think the network on that was.
Let me turn off the camera.
Turn off your camera, yeah, and see. Can you click on your screen now? Just move.
Maybe stop sharing. Maybe stop sharing and share again.
Yeah.
It's still frozen.
All right, thank you. Let me stop sharing.
Okay.
Sharing. I'm going to be sharing. Let me know when you can see the screen.
Okay.
Can you see my screen?
Yeah, just put it up there now. Just 1 second.
Frank's putting it back up.
Can you see the screen?
Not yet.
Gotcha. No.
Okay, I think it's coming up
Coming
now.
up there now. 1 second. Yeah, there we can see it there now again.
Yeah, cool.
Can you see my screen?
Yeah.
Yes, you can see your screen now.
All right. Thank you very much. So as I said, there are rules that can be scoped to it. If you come to the end from the M365 Admin Center, we have only 10 rules that are listed here that can be scoped. But you go to the Entra ID Administrative Center, there are actually more rules that are listed out there that can actually be assigned to an admin from here. So under members, I didn't actually select a member because I think my network is amazing. So if I come down to review and finish, you can still decide to add members after creating the administrative unit. You can edit here, or you can just click on add. Now this is being provisioned and it has been done. And when I'm done with that, you can always decide to go and add members. This was the one I just created now. So now let me just show you exactly how to get this created if you are dealing from the Entra ID Admin Center, and how to provision the restricted management administrative unit. So if you come down to your Entra Admin Center, please, can you see my Entra Admin Center?
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, thank you very much. Then you scroll down to where we have roles and admins. If you go to roles and admins, you go to where we have administrative units. Then you now click on add. Now, while you're provisioning this or while you're creating this, you see the option to turn on restricted management administrative units. Click on this here. It says that you can mark this administrative unit for restricted management if you don't want tenant level administrators to be inherited to rules on administration. Basically, what that means is that tenant level admins do not have a right to effect changes here. Only those that are scoped to this AU can actually effect changes here. Only admins that are scoped to this particular AU can actually effect changes here when you turn this restricted management administrative units toggled on. So you can turn this on, and then you can put in your name and your description, and then you can provision it. You can create it. When you create it here, even if you're creating here in the restricted management, it's still going to reflect in the M365 Administrative Center when you go back down there. So I've already provisioned, so I'm going to show you something very, very interesting. Now, I provisioned a particular user, and the user, by this particular user, is someone that have provisioned and added to the restricted unit administrative unit. So if I come down to my admin unit and I come down to restricted budgets, the members, not restricted budgets. If I go down to where we have restricted audit, no, not audit, is budget that guy is in. Restricted budgets. Sorry, my network is just amazing today. It's going to take a bit of time, but it populates. Let me see what I can do from here. I click on this user and I try to check exactly what it's going to get to be revealed. Just take time. Okay, basically, what I was trying to show you was the fact that after you did this user cooked into the system management administrative unit, you cannot actually reset the part of the user except you don't want that. I mean, that to that are the people here. If I come on to, I go to restricted finance. Let me open this. Where is this guy that I just? Okay. Please, can you still hear me? Hello?
Yeah.
Yep. Just wait.
All right. Sorry about the network glitch. It's taking a bit of time to populate. Yeah. Yep. But okay. I had actually provisioned an administrative unit before, and I had assigned an admin for that administrative unit. So if I come down to where I created it, this was the administrative unit I had provisioned called restricted budget, and I had scoped this user able to be the admin, the password administrator for this unit. Able, that's his name. So these are the people that are here now. He's the one that has the ability to reset the password of these particular people. If for any reason the global admin, who is a tenant-wide administrator, tries to reset the password of these people here, it will not get to go through. So let's try that immediately and get to see it. I come down to here and I come to my users and I go to that user I'm dealing with. try to reset the password. Do not forget, this is the global administrator here trying to reset the password of a particular user who is scoped to the administrative unit. And I try to reset password, and I click on reset password. You're supposed to get an error telling you that it's null, because this person is actually being added to a restricted management administrative unit. But if you go to, he said no, you can't reset it. You could not reset the password for this user, even though you're a global admin. If you go to the Entra and try to check, it's going to tell you that this user is a member of restricted management admin unit. Management rights are limited to administrative scopes on that admin unit. So if I decide to say, okay, fine, I want to reset the password and I want to use this able, that is an admin there, and I click on this particular user, then I try to reset the password before. And then I go to where we have reset password. It's taking a bit of time to populate. I go to reset password, and then I try to reset the password. You realize that will be successful because this particular user has actually been scoped to be an admin in this tenant, in this particular administrative restricted management administrative unit. So that's just basically what I needed to show you about that. So I've talked about how that we have adding members, how you can open the admin unit, navigate to identity, administrative unit, select your AU, you can add members, you can save, you can confirm your selection. I've talked about the roles that you can assign. Open AU roles and administrators, you can access role assignment within the admin unit, you can select a role and assign an admin. Permissions apply only within the AU, never tenant-wide. The restricted management admin units, I've spoken about it, that we have privileged and sensitive accounts. If you have the executives that you do not want people to unnecessarily effect changes in those accounts, you can add them to restricted management AU, and those accounts are going to be are protected. Strong isolation, strict boundaries, prevent tenant-wide privilege escalation, high security isolation. Only designated privileged admins can manage members within the restricted management administrative unit. So best practice is that you should use standard AUs for general delegation and use restricted AUs for sensitive accounts. You should apply least privilege rules. Make sure that the rules you are assigning are rules that they need to effect changes, nothing more. Then review administrative unit membership regularly and combine with privilege identity management and conditional access, and then auditing. So thank you very much for having me here. I really, really appreciate it. Thank you very much, Frank. Thank you very much, Dan. Thank you, Payemi. Thank you so much, everybody. And with this, you can always scan and connect with me on LinkedIn and go to subscribe to my YouTube channel or visit my blog, passivitech.com. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, so very good presentation, and it worked out well in the end. So we have, 1 second there now, we have somebody from the LinkedIn. Right, so I'm just going to show it up on the screen there, you'll see it. Administrative units are quite helpful when segmenting branches of companies. It allows the implementation of least privilege, and the separate units handle only their own administration independently.
Yes, that's a comment, I believe, and it's actually very correct.
Yeah.
The comment.
That's good. So it's great to see that there is people actually out there on LinkedIn that's actually watching in every week. So yeah, thanks very much for that. Any questions, anybody? No, you're off the hook as well, Bassey. No questions.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Yeah.
Great presentation.
Thank you.
Just one question. Entra is the new name of the old what do they call it?
Azure Active Directory.
Azure Active Directory.
Yeah. Was there very big changes
definitely
in Entra compared to application directory?
Say that again, Frank.
There wasn't very big changes when they changed over, or is it still kind of more or less the same, isn't it?
I would say they've added to Entra. Bassey, I don't know if you have other thoughts on it's been maybe 2 or 3 years. It's been a little while.
Yeah, definitely. It's been a while, and there have been changes, there have been upgrades that have been added. Nonetheless, there's some things features that have been added that were not there. So it's been a while. making changes.
Yeah, so there we have. Thank you for your session, and very insightful. And we have, this is OpenMe, amazing session. It's on the YouTube. So yeah, it has been picked up okay. So Carol, welcome.
Hey, Carol.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it. I am.
I'll just show this on the screen here as well.
Yeah, I think that's the introduction from the Entra blog of these restricted management units, administrative units. So that might be an example of something that's come since Azure Active Directory.
Yeah, thanks for sharing that, Dan.
No problem.
Anybody, anything new for this week?
I do, Frank, have the new Teams meeting controls.
Okay.
So they've put raise hand under the reactions, and then they've allowed drag and drop, so you can actually drag and drop controls out of the interface. If I'm using like the video effects a lot, I can drag those up here so that they're not buried under the more menu. Chat, people, timer, can move those kind of things around as I use them. If I'm using captioning on and off a lot, I can put it up here.
Can we make your screen a little bit bigger there?
I can share it, yeah. Let me share it here. I'm using OBS to make it my video window here. So if I allow share window, share this window. Does that show up, Frank, now?
Yeah, there we go. We have you on the screen.
Yep. So under the more menu is where a lot of things are going to hide, and you can hide a bunch of stuff that you're not using on a regular basis. To simplify the meeting controls, they've separated out leave so that you don't accidentally click on leave when you're sharing and stopping sharing. So share is much more prevalent in the interface. And then any of these things like the reactions, you can either put back onto the ribbon so they don't hide under more. And then with raise hand, you can actually move that back up. But if you're using timers in meetings, so if I've got 5 minutes to present, I can put a timer that's available to all people in the meetings. Other people can remind me of my time. If you build an agenda out for a meeting, I believe you do that in some of the AI tools. I don't have all the tools here because I'm in a tenant that I'm not an admin, and I don't have a OneDrive in this tenant, but you can see some of the things like audio settings. I can drag up to that window and then have them much easier availability than buried under the more menu. You can move stuff around there. So that's coming soon. The new dates, the original dates were June and July of this year. They've changed the dates to late July for preview, and then rollout starting in, I believe, August, ending in September. So these new Teams meeting features should roll out shortly into test. And this is the first time I've been able to kind of play around with them. And this is on my Mac computer. So I've had them on Mac and Windows, but only from the browser at this point.
Okay, very interesting.
Yeah. I'm using my Microsoft MVP tenant, and the way that I turn these on just for other MVPs is through Teams Labs. When I'm logged into that Microsoft tenant, under Teams Labs, I have new meeting controls off or on. So if any other MVPs would like to check this out, go into a previous meeting that you've had from the MVP tenant. And I just opened a previous meeting and then just started the meeting again and toggled on the new meeting controls and then was able to play around with them.
Hi, I'm Ken Dustman. I'm the Director of Marketing for Gateway Classic Cars.
So any questions about that?
No questions. Actually, wait a second there. We have.
Oh, cool.
Definitely will try that out.
It's been fun to play around with. They put some documentation out there.
We need you in the show to come and give us some Azure insights. Okay.
There you go.
Yeah, there's your
We're
invitation.
here every week.
Just give me DM me on LinkedIn and we can add you for next week if you're available.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It'd be awesome.
Yeah, it'd be great to have kind of a bit of a mix, some more stuff from Azure and that. Carol got knocked out again. Here she's back.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so I tagged you on that podcast then because I mentioned you in it.
Thank you. Yeah, I got through a couple minutes, but I haven't had a chance to listen to the whole thing.
Yeah,
but I'll double check and listen to the rest of it. It looks like a really nice webcast, and he's got, what was it, like 100 and some, I think, episodes?
Yeah, so
and a ton.
So that we're discussing it, can I just share that on the screen?
Yeah.
Just a second now, and I'll just get to the start of it. Just a second now. Just probably get a picture up of it on. Goodness. Second. So I'll just share my screen with there just for a minute or two, and so can you see my screen there? Yeah.
Yep.
So this is Tech Sharman, right? He does a podcast. He actually does 2 podcasts every day, 365 days of the year.
Wow.
Yeah. So he's an MVP as well. Microsoft.
I thought weekly was often, Frank.
Sorry?
I thought weekly was often every single day. That's admirable.
Yeah, so like doing the 2 podcasts, he also, when I went on to him, I had a date on the Saturday, came on the Saturday, and we discussed what we were going to talk about and kind of prepped me for it. And then on the Sunday, we logged on and we done the live podcast thing.
Wow.
So like that's kind of, as I said, 2 podcasts every day. So he's doing 2 preps then as well every day.
Wow.
So yeah, it's so that's
It's on YouTube, right?
yeah.
That's where I accessed it. I commented on it too.
Okay, so anyone go on to it, and just, even if it's not just for me, it's for Tech Sharman, his podcast, like very dedicated 2 podcasts every day, 365 days of the year.
Yeah.
He also asked me
I subscribe to.
Yeah, and if you subscribe to him. So there you've got a mention here, Dan. Special thanks to Dan Ray, Frank Smith, Emilia Hernandez, and Amy Diamond, whose guidance and support played a definite role in my journey to the MVP. So yeah, so that is what I have to share with you anyway.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting how many people are making content and hosting podcasts and collaborating with others. It's just, it's very interesting as you look at that web of, like Frank, you've met Emilia, right? And I've met Al and Carol and OPME in London. And, Iberedem, I don't think we've met yet, but, there's been so many opportunities to like get together in person at different things.
Yeah. So we'll probably get an option to meet OPME, Stephen.
Yeah.
Do you think you'll go to the MCT in Dublin next year?
It's closer for him than it is for Hal and I.
Yeah.
Hal, you're not an MCT, correct?
No, just a plain old MVP.
Yeah. Well, you're doing plenty for community. MCT is interesting because if you're not teaching classes, there's really no reason to pursue the MCT. But teaching in different avenues, right, for community members and mentoring, and that's still a type of a form of teaching, I guess, is a way to think of it.
Yeah, so I'd say that there will be a good lot go to that, I'd say, Dan, compared to the MCT summit in Sarajevo, which is kind of quite difficult to get there,
Yeah. I would imagine Dublin will get a lot of European folks, and then even from the US, there's a lot of direct flights to Dublin or nearby. So a lot of times my trick is I just look for the flight to get over to Europe, and then I figure out where I need to be in Europe after I get over there.
Yeah, so like in Sarajevo, it was on the Tuesday, but I had to fly there on the Sunday because there wasn't flights, 2 days beforehand.
Yeah, I know Bill went for, I want to say, a week, and then he spent at least a week or 2 in Italy, I think, afterwards. He did kind of like a, European tour, well over there. Why not spend some time? So Vienna, I know he was in. I'm trying to recall where else he went. He did like a whole tour after the MCT European Summit.
Yeah, he done the tour on the last day of Sarajevo. He went around all the places with them.
Oh, cool.
I think on to Sardinia then after that, was it?
That sounds familiar. Yeah, he told me everywhere he went, and he's got all sorts of photos on Facebook of the adventures post MCT summit.
Yeah, we were talking there, Stephen. Do you think you'll make the MCT summit in Dublin next year?
Yeah, I think I should. Yeah, I think it's really part of. I really want to. It's really part of my plan. Yeah, I think it's next year March. Yeah.
Next May.
May, right?
Yeah.
Oh, is it May?
After the MVP summit. So the MVP summit, we already have the dates for. That's mid-March, I want to say. It's a little different time frame, but it's in March next year. We have those dates already.
It's March 16th through the 16, 17, 18, 19.
Thank you.
Yeah, 3 days. Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah,
I was just checking.
Yeah, that would be great.
So the funny thing of it is mostly they don't. A lot of the airlines won't show reservation capabilities this far in advance. Delta, I just found out. I guess it was just the last week or two decided to show what March looked like. So I don't have an idea, but I'm not going to buy tickets right now because I have kind of discovered over the last 2 or 3 years that the cheapest time, at least here in the United States, to buy a plane ticket is Christmas Day.
Oh, wow.
The week between Christmas and New Year's is the absolute cheapest for some odd reason. Don't ask me why. It just seems to work that way. Google has a thing that you can track flight prices, and that's what that kind of shows too. So
yeah, I think over here we usually use Sky Scanner, something like that.
Yeah.
But anyway, I'm definitely going to be at the summit. So see all you there then if you decide to come. It's the one and only big thing I get to do every year.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, I know Fiona went last year, but when she looked at getting the flight out of Dublin to Redmond, it was €4,000.
Wow.
Ouch.
You know, it's expensive.
Wow.
Yeah. That's the other trick that might work is, remind Fiona. I mean, nobody likes layovers, but sometimes getting to whether it's New York or Chicago or, even Los Angeles or somewhere in the United States might have a cheaper flight. And then, she can always visit there if she wants for a day or two and then, fly out and come up to Seattle. But, I'm not sure if that's the same as us going over to Europe, but a lot of times I'll find a flight to a particular city like Dublin versus Madrid or, London or, wherever I want to go. But once I'm over there, the flights are so cheap that sometimes it's worth the savings from, just getting on the long flight. And then being comfortable on those long flights, I have decided is worth the extra money.
Definitely, yeah.
But
she got a flight anyway from Amsterdam.
Okay.
For about 1,000.
Okay, that was the option to keep it reasonable. Was Amsterdam? Yeah.
So look, we're up on the hour anyway. So I'll end the live show. And we'll be back here again next week at the same time. And
sounds
hopefully
good.
We'll get some new speakers. Anybody has anything, let me know. And Bassey, you have access now to the Excel sheet. If you want to do any talks going forward.
Yes, definitely. If I want to do a talk, I will just have to write it in the Excel sheet and then we're good to go.
And the same, Sameena, if you want to do any talks going forward, you have access to the thing, just pop in there and we'll be happy to have you on again.
Yeah, sure. Thank you, Frank.
Thanks very much. So I'm just going to end the live show. As you say, thanks everyone.
Has been a pleasure as always.